with this. All right. Got a little Unboximagingathingit for you. Hell. I'll wait till the people filter in. But yeah. The old box. The box. It's got something heavy in it. It's a box. I gotta unbox this thing. I don't know where the things are for that, but hey, it's a box. And major thumbs up to everybody who comes in here, by the by. I appreciate y'all. I don't even know which part of the box to start with. It's like, it's so well taped together that, you know, solid as a brick. Hell, nobody's gonna come into here anyways. Why not? I'm just fucking with you. Have me a beer real quick. Motherfucker. Sit. Stay. Fuck you, you cunt. Stay. Jesus, whack. That was more difficult than pulling teeth without anesthesia or a hammer. All right. So, you know what this is, right? Sounds big. It's heavy. I'm wondering. I think I know what it is, but I'm pretty sure I know what it is. It's just a matter of suspense is killing me, man. Just get on with it. The fuck? Did they use bionic tape or some shit? Fucking knife is just skating across the top of it. That's funny. Oh, I wish it was 20K in large bills, Texas. I wish so, Chuck. By God, I could use that. I use that in so many different ways. Holy shit, this stuff is fucking bionic packaging. I'm literally having to force my knife. That one wasn't so hard to force. So. Holy crap. Nope. It's still solid fuck. There we go. Yeah. That should come loose now. Fucker, let go. Let go of my shit. It won't let go. The fuck, was it glued together or some shit? This is too fucking funny. The box is glued together. It's got to be glued to fuck together because this does not make sense. The fucking box won't come open. I'm not bullshitting you guys. This box literally won't fucking open. Oh shit. That's too fucking funny. Oh, motherfucker. That's why some slimy cocksucker decided they were going to staple the box shut. After all that neat, nasty old packaging and Hoosier where what's it? I stapled the box shut. Well, I'm going to have to put a new edge on my knife. Okay. Fire starter. Do not throw away this envelope and contains merchandise and or invoice. Examine contents carefully, it says. Well, carefully, much carefully. Cylinder for a .44 revolver with nipples. Ooh, it's got nipples too? Yes, I love nipples. Okay, so that off to the side here. What do we have here? Ooh, we've got the Dixie flag. We've got the Betsy Ross flag. A pretty little package right there, man. Not the Betsy Ross flag. You got the Dixie. Hell yes. That's a beautiful little package right there. As you can see, it says FLLI Pieta. Open up. Gently. All sorts of carefully. Ah. Very pretty. Very good looking. I really like the packaging. That's like, you know, as far as bubble wrap is concerned, or, you know, plastic wrap or plastic packaging, bubble packaging or whatever, this is pretty scooped, man. Like freaking hardcore stoked thunder fucking. That'd handle you throwing this thing across the freaking room. If you got pissed off, got the wrong one, it'd still handle it. Joe, good to see you. So now, here we have, is it the right size is the question that me and my cousin were talking about a couple days ago, if you remember that, cuz. Is it the right size? I'm pretty certain it's the right one, but I'm going to just test it and check it real quick. And that is how you know your equipment. Absolutely dead on. Absolutely perfect. They're the same size, same make, model, everything. New cylinder is perfect. New cylinder is .44 caliber. We can work with that. I'll put my old one on back on the apparatus, as it were, because this ape here does not like being disarmed. Monkey want gun. There we go. And here we go. Lock them all. So I go back in my holster here, the old Yaki special. And that right there, she's a beaut. She's an absolute beaut. Spare cylinder for the old 44. You know, as a snap reload. Kind of like, you know, with a semi-automatic, you carry an extra magazine. With a black powder revolver, you carry a spare cylinder. This way, you've got an extra set of rounds as quick as you can. Then, later on, if you have to reload or whatever, then you carry spare cartridge ammunition to be able to quickly reload your cylinders in the heat. Otherwise, measure it out, make it right. Yes, the Pale Rider reload method. It's exactly it. What's your name? Call me Preacher. It's Josie Wales. Oh, no. Spare cylinder. 6 chambers. See how that works? It's 6 shots, but it's a spare cylinder. So when the situation arises where I'm sitting there, I'm kind of ass crick, I could turn around and just says, all right, well, slap that one out, slap that new one in. I'm ready to go for 6 more rounds. Pray to God I don't need them. But, this is like, yeah, you need to carry an extra at least. At the very, very least. So, any Hoosiers. Yeah, the cartridge conversions. There's an interesting one. Some of them are 5-shot, some of them are 6-shot. I happen to know for a fact that for the Remington at least, they are 6-shot conversion. But the way that they did that so that you could shoot the 6-shot 38 special conversion is they just basically left a whole bunch of meat between here and here on the cylinder, and then that's your extra that you need for like the smokeless powder or whatever. This is just black powder basic, black powder cylinder, but it works freaking awesomely, in fact. Now, I have never, through the whole time that I've had this firearm and to this point, okay, never had a full 6 shots in a cylinder misfire. I have had 3 in a row. That was one of the freakiest things I've ever seen, because imagine if you had a bear was charging you, 3 shots down in your cylinder, you only got 3 left. It put the fear of God in you. Luckily, the next one went. And when I say the next one went, I mean the next one went. So, no, I'm not talking about a chain fire. I'm just saying it, it took care of the business. I wouldn't use a fill when it comes down to smokeless powder. Do you know why? You know why you don't use a filler when you're using smokeless powder, especially in a black powder gun, but in any kind of gun for that matter, when you're talking cartridge? The reason why you don't do that is because smokeless powder hits a different pressure spike. Whereas, the pressure spike on, say it's the whole screen is a graph, okay? This side is pressure up. This side is time, okay, in milliseconds. The pressure of black powder kind of does this thing. And just goes to a linear high pressure and then drops. Smokeless powder does this sort of thing. Okay? So across that particular chart that you're looking at, imagine that, the pressure curve is just enough of a difference to where if you've got slightly brittle metal in the makeup of the metal itself, you've got a grenade in your hands. So you can't have hardened steel. You have to have special heat-treated steels in order to handle smokeless powder. That's why black powder doesn't do as well. I mean, black powder barrels don't do as well with smokeless powder. They make special barrels to be able to handle the conversion. But you can also cowboy load. You can slow load your pistol shot in order to make it so it'll handle right. But and that's just in the 38. I'm not talking, 38, 36 conversion. I'm not talking the 44, because I noticed something about the 44. I can't find a conversion kit for it. For the 44, not for the 38. The 38 seems to have something there, but I can't find a conversion for the 44. Hello, April. Good to see you. Yeah, the powder will rattle if you're loading, smokeless. But here's the thing about smokeless. It is really easy to hot load smokeless powder. And when I say really easy to hot load, okay, listen, there have been idiots who have gone and, done the unsafe conversion, smokeless powder and black powder cylinder and smokeless powder and a black powder cartridge, and not weighed it out appropriately and turned their gun into a hand grenade. There are also individuals who did it just perfectly. And that is the only way that you can get away with that, is just perfectly. And the reason why this particular individual was able to get away with it and whatnot, and still, yes, he's no longer, we can still find his channel. His channel's still there. It's just that particular video has been taken down by YouTube because of their fucking, it's something about misinformation or some shit like that. Let's just be clear. It's not misinformation. It's just a matter of, it's not necessarily safe. Okay? It's not necessarily safe. That doesn't mean that you can't do it. I just very strongly suggest against doing it. Black powder, like I said, burns in a different manner. Black powder substitutes even burn in a different manner from smokeless powder. And smokeless powder, even though outside of a gun, it burns really long and slow, like you see in the movies for like a powder wick. When you look at it in real life, smokeless powder outside of the gun burns really long, but inside of the gun is gone like that. Just like black powder. The difference is the pressure spike. And when we talk pressure spike, we're talking about how much pressure over what period of time. It's not so much that it's all the way up here, this much pressure. It's that it's this much pressure, and then it's this much pressure. And then it's this much pressure. That reverberation of pressures is what causes the failure of the material itself. Yeah, 777. I wouldn't use 777. Okay, if you're gonna use like a black powder special for like cartridge conversion for specifically for a pistol, use Pirate XP. Just do that. It's easier on your gun. There's more room for it to burn. It burns. It doesn't burn as slowly as say 777 does. So it, now in a long gun, on the other hand, yes, use 777. It's a little easier on your gun, a little better to use. It ignites more reliably, but that's a long gun. We're talking pistols here. Shorter, my barrel is just long enough to where, yeah, you could kind of get away with a little bit of 777, but I'd rather use something like I said, Pirate XP. Pirate XP actually happens to be, it's a slightly different pressure curve than black powder, but at the same time, it's safe in black powder guns. This is so tested and so particular to the way that it's used. It's like they tell you don't use the Pirate XP in your smokeless powder guns. I mean, it can operate them, but you shouldn't use it because it fouls up the barrel and dirties it up a lot. Same diff with, a couple of other things when we come down to that. So I wouldn't, I'll say this, Rip. When it comes down to failures to fire, most of the time it's operator error when it comes down to black powder guns. Okay. Now, hearken to what I'm saying here. Failure to fire happens to be because the fire from the priming compound did not make it through the nipple channel into the black powder itself. That depends both on construction of the nipple and forcing cone on the nipple. It's also dependent upon you as the shooter to keep that motherfucker goddamn pristine clean. Even if you got to fire some caps through the damn thing to blow the crap out the end of the cylinder, you know, it's better than nothing. That's not saying that it's perfect. It's better than nothing. And even, you know, rubbing alcohol and a quick douse, you know, you're out in the field, you've got time to do it. So a quick douse and some Q-tips and swab the crap out of it, you know, with some rubbing alcohol and water. Okay. It works. It's not the best. It's not great, but it's better than straight grunge in your cylinder. Because what you can't see about this particular cylinder, I know it's not easy, but down inside of there, those little tiny, I don't even, let me see if I can get one in there in the picture. It's not taking a picture of it. You can't even see them. See, through here, you can't even see it. Let me see if I can, yeah, you can't even see. There's, you know, it doesn't look like they're through holes, but there are through holes in each one of these cylinders. And each through hole, that little pinhole in there, needs to have the flame go through it and at least heat up that back end of the powder sitting in the cylinder. This is why paper cartridges work so well, is because even though you will get the flame may not heat up the powder hot enough to hit its flash point. The paper, on the other hand, will char. And that charring is what causes that powder to heat the extra way. And that's why you get a little bit of a hang fire sometimes. You are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct, Forging. That is 100% true. Black powder residue will plug a firing nipple faster than a thirsty man eating an MRE. Oh, shit, that's funny. It's true, though. By a cut hair. But only by a cut hair. I want to talk about constopulation. Holy shit. So anyways, yeah, there's the unboxing of the old second cylinder for the pistol. Yeah, the Duelist, there's Blackie Thomas, sorry. There's also, fucking, what's his name? I believe Paper Cartridges has done that one as well. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. Yeah, hell yes. Yeah, Forging that. Chad, I want to look into that because that's smart. Welding tip cleaner, a pocket full of Q-tips, and an eyedropper of solvent. Freaking intelligent shit, man. Super smart. Okay, so Duelist, yeah. Yeah, kind of, sort of. There's a way that I do up my cylinder so that I don't have as much of the trouble when firing. Now, this is a mod that I call it the masking tape mod. It's really simple, really easy to do. Basically, what it does is it keeps your cylinder from having a moisture grab, which is how water gets up underneath of the caps and into the chambers themselves, because as you see, I grease my chambers. I also use a piece of masking tape over the top of each cap, and I do that twice on each cap so it stuffs down inside. Just a little strip of masking tape, enough to cover the knuckles in between each cap there. The knuckles are the side of the firing chamber here around the nipple. Okay, that's the knuckle. Then you've got your safety slots here. In between those safety slots are your knuckles. I make sure that a piece of tape goes all the way up and over across the top of the knuckle and stops right in the middle of this little semicircle on the top of the lands here. After I've gotten one together, I tuck it in around there, and then I take and I put a second one on, and I do the same thing and tuck it in around there. And this keeps it dry. And yes, it eliminates the shit out of chain fire. And this one is actually a number 10, by the way, if y'all didn't know. It does not like number 11 caps. But on the other side, the flip side of it, number 11 caps will fit over the nipple, but they don't like to stick to the nipple. So I have a dilemma. I can't get this thing to hold the number 11s, and I can't get it to fit the number 10s. So what I ended up having to do was take a mold that I made, and let's see here if I got it in my pocket. I'm pretty sure I do. One of these Allen wrenches, Allen keys, and I polished the end of the Allen key so that I got those little nubs on the corners there to polish down. It's not easy to see, but you know, you can kind of see that I've done some polishing work there. Well, that gets that, because you can see the other side here, there's no silver there, but I polished this to a round to have a radius on all of those, and then to take the little nibbles of the corners off, and then I just push 4 layers of aluminum foil that have been plated around the outside of a freaking 20-penny nail, around the outside of the head of a 20-penny nail, and cut off, so I have a little tiny circle. And I just push that through the mold, and now I've got a chemical cup. Then, between the chemical cup and the second one that I push through, I put a piece of paper. And that piece of paper is my anvil. So I put my chemical cup over the top of the anvil inside of the firing cup. And now that those are all put together, then I take 2 strips of aluminum and I make petals on the outside of that. Just aluminum foil. And that seats perfectly in here. Huh. Smart. I like that. I like that. Blasting caps on the cannon. Yeah, I don't have a cannon, but I have a hand cannon. So this is how I set up my my caps, and when you see them, you'll be like, "Whoa, shit! That fucking looks like they're store-bought, store-made," you know? But they're not store-made. I promise you this. They're not store-made. Those are homemade. Doesn't look like much, but what you can see is it looks like there's a match head down on the top of there. That is the chemical cup and the firing cup all inside of there. And these are just the petals on the outside, that long tube that it's in. This smashes down on top, and I can actually do this as a kind of, because I can remake these. These are easy as hell to make. I'll just smash one down on top of here and show you. Basically slip the nip inside of the pedals, and it stands off about like so. Okay? Now, in order to seat the cap, it's just a simple push. And that cap sits pretty well flush on the back end there. Now, I'm going to fire this one off because, basically if I don't, it's useless anyways. It's been pretty well fucked off. It's fine because I'll make more. I'm just pointing out that, this particular cap setup is what has kept me from having to deal with the stores, which, let's be fair and honest, we could all do with a little bit less of that fucking economical bureaucracy in our lives, right? Come on, fucker. Shimon Lee. There we go. So this is the spare cylinder. As you can see, no ammunition in it. The cylinder is not loaded. Just so that we're clear, screw tube. You're not going to get any freaking screw overs on me. All right. Now, the problem is that sometimes I load these caps a little bit hot, and so they don't like to flow in the cylinder. So I've been having to deal with, amount versus use. Sometimes they don't work, and so I got to sling them to the side because they're useless. But this one, I think, will work. There we go. All right. See? And there you go. That's the residue that you got left over. Okay. And does it spin? Just fine. In fact, you spin it enough, and that motherfucker comes off all by his own little lonesome. So, yeah, it works. And on top of that, the little pedals are not really all that big of a deal. They come right out. You don't even need to, they don't even get stuck down below as you're spinning it. That's what I love about this setup. It's just aluminum foil. It just comes apart. When you spin it the right way, the aluminum foil just comes apart. So it's not even a matter of this won't feed when you pull the trigger. Or, I mean, when you pull the hammer back, it will feed every time with those caps on there because it's just aluminum foil. It's nothing special. It's just something to hold the chemical inside of it so that when the hammer falls, the chemical doesn't go flying everywhere. It just stays in that one little spot, and that impact causes it to detonate a little tiny bit, which causes the rest of it to detonate, which pushes the cap backwards, forces the hammer back, and forces the fire into the nipple. It's pretty much the same relative concept as a cap gun. Yeah, that's actually how I came about this idea. Was I saw the little way to make your own caps and all that, and I remembered back when I was a kid, me and my dad used to sit there and we'd take strike anywhere matches and we'd roll them up in aluminum foil and set them on top of a hard surface and smack them with hammers on the 4th of July because fireworks, and it was completely and perfectly legal in Ogden, Utah to have fireworks on the 4th of July, so we could get away with playing around with this stuff because he was also a muzzle loader as well and liked to do the things he does. So I learned a cool thing off of just sitting there and playing around with matches. And that is, all that you need in order to make caps is right here. That's it. That's all you need to make a set of caps. This is what your grandparents did in order to make caps when they didn't get the special fulminated mercury priming compound from the stores. Matches. Piss in a bucket for fucking 20 days in a row and you got phosphorus. And then you go and you round up some perchlorate somewheres, and there you go. You got phosphor perchlorate. Armstrong solution. And that is how I do it for myself. You know, I've had folks tell me, well, you're going to dirty up your gun. Maybe. But it'll fire the first time. Guarantee you that. Maybe. But it'll fire the first time. These are magnum fucking caps. These are not a joke of a cap. And yeah, I clean out my shit. I take good care of my gear, so I shouldn't have a problem with misfires or none of that. I mean, if I didn't take good care of my gear, this particular gun right now should already be rusted as fuck. Let's be fair and honest with each other. That's where it should be sitting right now, is rusted as fuck. For somebody who does not take care of their equipment. I blew my gun every now and then. I'll sit there and I'll oil it whenever it starts to get a little bit dusty. Not even rusty, just dusty. Everything on this gun is taken care of. Well taken care of. Specifically because I don't want to end up in a shit situation, draw my gun, and have the hammer go. Had that happen before. Not in a shit situation, just sitting there, screwing around, shooting my dad's rifle and whatnot. We were out at the range, and he just let that fucking thing set in a freaking, basically under the hot water heater, gathering water all fucking summer long, with a round in it, by God. We used to go and shoot that motherfucker all the time, man. Dirty as hell. You never fucking wipe that thing out or nothing. Just fuck it, shoot it. Just make sure that the nipple's pricked out, because I don't want to have to dig that motherfucker out. I already broke one worm. Oh, man. Yeah. You have a cap and ball project in your shop right now. Yeah, there's another one, Joe. That's a great one. Yeah. And treat black powder like the old Golden Tiger ammo. Whoops. Yeah, that's true. It's like trying to find hen's teeth there, Deathclaw. The green ones, they're not the best, but they work. And these are the ones that are not the strike anywheres, so they combine a little bit easier, and they make for a hotter spark. Whereas if you get the strike anywhere matches, sure, you don't need as much of the phosphorus from the outside, but at the same time, they do not ignite as readily. Oh, and they don't burn completely, so you end up, mussing up the nipples on your gun with that stuff rather than this. A lot quicker, anyways. And strike anywhere, yes, they are getting harder and harder to find. Whoa, part on me. Huh? 22 long. 20 times the yield. That's good to know, Forgin. Oh, dear God. Customer states, loaded ball without propellant, went to fire, realized the fuck up, and threw the gun at a tree. Maybe your client shouldn't have a gun. Just saying. Or they've got enough money to throw one at a tree and don't give a fuck, so there. So what did you said now? Did you? Well, shit, pickles. Ain't that some at? Thank you. I will certainly go check that out later. Yeah, I will certainly go check that out later. Joe, that was pretty cool. Thank you. But yeah, I'm not using 22 short blanks. Sorry, that's a little bit too much. Whoa. Jeez, Rip. I don't think you could get a better shot. To be fair and honest, have that freaking literally right next to you, just boom, 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 boom. Oh, hi, boom. I don't think you can get a better shot than that. See, there's the thing. Acetone. Acetone's a son of a bitch I mean, let me just make this clear, all right? If you buy matches and acetone at the same time, people kind of look at you funny. But if you buy matches and rubbing alcohol at the same time, it's like, yeah, what the fuck ever, he's just making a stove. Now I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. That's made with rubbing alcohol, not made with acetone. Those are made with rubbing alcohol. That's all it is. Rubbing alcohol, mix it together, and a little bit of pressure gives me these. And the cool thing is, I don't know if you noticed this. You make a matchbox literally into a cap box, a little snus box. All I did was put the desk in the back of that thing, in that little cardboard thing there, and then I've got caps here, got 4 of them there, be able to handle Yeah, I do live in the land of nosy Karens myself. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Hawk. I do. All right, so go ahead and start packing shit down here. Caps. Oh, speaking of paper cartridges, I carry a double stack with me everywhere for good reason. You never know. But it kind of sucks when you get stuck out in the middle of nowhere and say you're having to sleep in the back of your Suburban or something and your toes start getting chewed on by a fox and you have to unload your pistol into that fox. Then all of a sudden, right, now you got an empty cylinder. You really ain't got any way to load it up because you left your powder and your shot at home. Luckily enough, got a box of ammo. Yeah, there's a feller who came up with that. I don't know, it was like back in the freaking 70s or something. Came up with this idea of using an air compressor to pop the ball out of a freaking black powder gun, you know, because it's just compressed air. What is an air gun but shooting compressed air with a ball out the fucking barrel? Okay, well, oh, it worked. Well, Billy, I'm going to tell you how I got one of my misfortunate stupids taken care of. Watch this. Quite literally. Pull the nipple out. Here. Not as easy as it may look, but it can be done with a pair of pliers. Okay. So pull the nipple out. And then, see this self-same there Allen key that I was talking about? Let me see if I can get you to see that hole through the back end. Some light behind there. Fuck. Focus, you fuck. There we go. Allen key. It works. There's a reason why I still carry the motherfucker even though I'm not making fucking primers. That right there. Poink. Pop the ball right out the end. Pair of pliers and an Allen key of the right and appropriate size. That's all it takes. Sprekensivachen. That thing got nasty. Blech. Gonna have to get in there with a pin. But hey, at least you know, everything else works just beautifully fine. Not really worried about it. I have a black powder pistol for personal defense against come what may. And I have an air gun that could also do pretty much the same thing. A single shot pistol. In that case, you're going to fucking hate me because this is really simple. Take some 4F powder. That you heard that right? Flash powder. 4F powder. You take and you open up the through port where you got your nipple and then your through port. You open up your through port, pour powder down in the through port. Then you put your through port back in. Then you cap it with a nipple. Sign of the cross for good luck and let her rip. When I say 4F powder, I mean a very fucking small amount of 4F powder. But yeah, I kind of figured it was a muzzle loader there, Halls. And yeah, I'm going to have to clean this motherfucker out already. I could tell what they did was they fired it. They test fired it and they never cleaned it. It's just fine by me. Coated in fucking Cosmoline anyways. I'm going to have to, clean it up and whatnot. But hey, Cosmoline is good. Oh, Cosmoline. You gotta love this shit, man. The Cosmoline actually protects the metal, so that's why I'm trying to keep it like that until I get, set up and everything running with this thing. Still in all, it was necessary. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Unboximagingathingit whatnot video. And I appreciate y'all, and y'all have a good fucking day. And I tell you what, don't take shit too fucking seriously, because otherwise it's going to blow your mind and it's going to end up with your mind blown. Have a good day, y'all. Much obliged. Thank you for coming. And this is Yo Guardsman. Motherfuckers, I'm out.